What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Ark Survival Evolved. There was an update earlier this morning, and I thought I was just going to go over the update a little bit in a single-player world, and then I was like, nah, you know what? I'll just craft up the items in the real world, like the actual server, and work with it and try to build like something with it, and just kind of claim my spot in the redwood biome, which was added into the game. They also expanded the snow biome, which really didn't change too much. Pretty much just added another snow-capped mountain. Not really worth showing because this is kind of like the newest of the new, which is this redwood biome. You cannot actually chop down the large trees, but these smaller ones, like the ones you see here, you can chop down and they give you a crap ton of wood. So it's absolutely amazing. So what else did they add, you ask? Well, they added a nice little Titanosaurus into the game. And by little, I mean the complete opposite of little. It is now the biggest dinosaur in the game. And it's pretty much what you would expect a giant Bronto had a baby with an ankylosaur. And that's kind of what it looks like. They can be tamed for about 24 hours, and then you have to tame them again. I'm pretty sure they die after 24 hours of them being tamed. I'm not sure what the actual time frame is. This is all information that Demo gave me, so if I have it wrong, blame Demo. They added a gas mask that actually makes it so the swamp cave is a lot easier to complete, as well as like narcotic traps and that kind of stuff. If you have a gas mask on, they shouldn't knock you out unless it's bugged. I haven't personally tested it because I'm not a high enough level to actually craft them yet. They added new herbivore tasty cakes, which is crafted through tree sap, which you need a tree sap tap to put on a tree in order to get the tree sap out of it. And I believe this is a way in which to heal herbivores that are damaged. So if you guys have ever played Survival of the Fittest and you cranked raw meat into, say, your T-Rex when he was dying, he would get HP back relatively quickly. And tasty cakes are kind of a combatant towards that to do herbivores because berries just didn't cut it. Honestly, I wish they kind of would rather just make it so berries do the same thing that raw meat does, just lesser, but you can eat them quicker. That would make everything a little bit better, but they did this instead. And they added chain bola ammo for the Ballista target. So if you guys remember the handheld throwing bolas that used to grab pteranodons, grab dodos, I showed it off, I believe, in the cannon episode when the cannon released. I think it released at the same time as that. And it was pretty cool, but it didn't really do anything because it just only would knock down small dinosaurs. Now you put it on a Ballista turret, which I do have. I have some ammo as well as the Ballista turret. I do have some ammo, and we're going to be testing it out on a few dinosaurs to see what, like, the largest one we can knock out with it is. So, that being said, on top of that, they, of course, added the tree sap collectors and wood and metal tree platforms, and then just tripwire notifications that could be sent to your email now. Doesn't really work for my server. I think it'd be more of a cool official server thing because you can't always be on an official server, so... and then just various bug fixes, FPS increases, and that kind of stuff. I can kind of tell the FPS increase. I'm at like 80 right now, but I'm also not playing on 2K. I'm playing on 1080p, so because my monitor broke, so I'm not really certain if there really is any change to FPS. So that being said, I have 4 platforms, tree platforms. I'm going to say platform saddles a lot. I do mix it up in my brain and just say platform saddles. And we're going to be placing these down here on these 4 trees. The tree platforms are crafted with about 1,400 wood, 200 metal, and I believe it was like 40 fiber and 100 cementing paste. I'm not completely certain. I did craft 4 of them. And I just wanted to take over like this group of 4 trees. That one, that one, and this one. They can be placed on multiple levels of each tree. But there really is no like tree platform walls or tree platform ceilings or anything like that. There might be a way to finagle it by building underneath it and building walls through it. But I can see in the future definitely there being updates in which it's going to allow you to do just full-on tree houses, tree bridges from tree house to tree house, and it should really add to the game. I believe these can only be placed in the redwood biome. I could be mistaken. I'm not completely sure if that's true. But I know I can't place them on the smaller trees because the smaller trees can be knocked down. So maybe there are other trees that they added around. They also added ruins to this map. There hasn't been ruins in this map ever. Pretty much you only saw them on Valhalla. And then the center map adopted that as well. And then they also added it to the regular world, which I'm going to show you the ruins in just a second. Just one of the ruins. There are multiple different ones. Gangrel's base in the swamp biome actually got ruined a little bit by the ruins. Da-da-tink. The ruins kind of went right into his gateway, his little doorway, so he kind of has to relocate his doorway and kind of move some dinosaurs around. So it was kind of annoying, and this has happened to him. This is the second time it's happened to him, so it's hilarious. And it's just kind of like, okay, now you're just trolling me. Because if you guys remember on Valhalla when they added those giant pillars into the world, yeah. Hey, I don't know who this is. Hello? I'm gonna go see who it is. Hello?
Oh, hi.
Oh, hi. It's just Lazy Mix.
Sorry.
Just popping in. Probably wondering who's placing down all these crazy tree platforms. So, that being said, these are placed down. There are rope ladders now as well, another added item into the game. I'm not sure how they work, and I'm pretty sure they're specifically for tree platforms, but I'm pretty sure you could use them otherwise. If you go underneath the tree platforms, you can see they have all these kind of rope things. It kind of reminds me of like an Ewok village. I'm not completely certain how these work. I'm pretty sure they don't even work on these. I think you actually need to have like a hatch. And I believe there are more materials to craft than a regular ladder. So I'm not really sure why they added these in. This might just kind of be like a placeholder item. I've flown around the bottom of these before, and I really haven't seen any snap points for them on this, but I think it's more of a placeholder thing. I know you can definitely use them on hatch frames like you would regular ladders, but you're just better off using regular ladders, to be honest. I think it more of as a placeholder for when they do rope bridges and rope ladders and rope this and rope that to bring you in between different platforms and whatnot. I believe I have some stone foundations in here just to test if we can actually build on top of these platforms. I haven't personally tested it out yet, and that's what we're going to be doing right now. If we can build up here, that's going to be kind of cool, but also kind of useless. Okay, so we can build on them. So instead of, like, I would still kind of rather have platform, like, you know what I mean? Like platform walls, tree platform walls that would snap on. I personally can't do damage to my own structures, so I'm not really sure if these are actually stronger. They have 40,000 HP, which is pretty damn cool. And you guys are going to be seeing me build a few different structures from platform to platform. I'm not really sure how I'm going to finagle these things together, but that'll be in later episodes. And I'm glad that they added something like this because the building and the regular building that I've been doing has been getting dry. So I'm seriously looking forward to what I can do with these tree platforms. It's going to be really awesome. I believe that's actually Keith's Quetzal down there. He must have fell off when the server crashed. So I'm looking forward to building on these. I still would much rather them do tree platform walls so I can just encompass this tree and then like attach another platform and have rope ladders up to each floor and then just have these kind of like cylindrical buildings. I'm hoping that a dev is listening or watching this video and hears me when I say that and that they plan on doing something like that in the future because I seriously want to build like these Ewok village fortress things, which would be really awesome. That being said, let's head on out. Let's see what we can ballista turret and also see how these tree sap collectors work. Let's do the tree sap collectors first. There we are. And I'm also relatively curious. I should have asked Lazy Max, but I didn't think of it at the time to see if he could damage these structures with the Argentavis. Seeing as they're built with cementing paste, metal, and wood, I feel like they should have the same durability as stone. Not being able to be broken by anything besides, like, siege equipment. Being 40,000 HP, it's going to take a lot of siege equipment to take out one of these things. So, I assume these will only go into redwood biome trees. Like, they would only go into redwood trees. I think since those have those snapped onto them, that this isn't going to work. Oh my lord, why does it snap? Look how far up it snaps on these trees. Can we do it on a regular tree? No, we cannot. Let me go see if maybe I have to... Oh, maybe... Okay. Maybe I snap it to where the platform snaps. That way it's up here with me. Yep, indeed. Contains any sap that has been extracted from the tree over time. So that's the tree sap collector, which is awesome. I'm looking forward to actually maybe making some tasty cakes in the future for my herbivores. So that's pretty cool. I like how that works. I like how it snaps like right on the platform. It adds to it. It adds to like the whole feel of an Ewok village, you know, collecting the sap from the tree while living with the tree and all this kind of crazy stuff. So again, I couldn't do the gas mask and test the gas mask out, but you guys can probably expect what the gas mask is going to be like. And we're going to be waiting for daytime, which should be swinging around any second now. Gamma is still broken on the server, but daytime or nighttime is only like 2 minutes long, so it's pretty easy to get to daytime. So let's test this out. The way to pretty much go, I would say, is just to go after a Bronto. I think I'm going to need some foundations over here just to get me to be able to place the ballistas. Just to make it a little bit easier. These foundations don't take much to craft. By any means, or by no means, will I be moving over here specifically to this biome, but I do want to have a secondary base, maybe having my flying dinosaurs being over here, because it kind of does seem like it's more of a flight base. Ballistas are still bugged and fire off randomly, as you can tell. Alright, so it's loaded with a ballista with the bolus. And that clearly did not work on a Bronto. So if we can't do it to a Bronto, then maybe... Oh, gosh. I think it's just going to attack the Ballista. But that's fine. We can take out the Bronto with our Pteranodon. Unless all three of them get peed off. If all three of them get peed off, then we're kind of in a screwed situation. I can just fly off a little bit. If it can't knock down a Bronto... I specifically know that it does work with Quetzals. So Quetzal might be the largest dinosaur in which this Ballista Bolus shot can take out, which is actually really good because before they added this to the game, there hasn't been any specific way for anti-air besides shooting your personal weapon. So that being said, that is really cool that we can now, like, have a Quetzal, and it does get fall damage, by the way, if you Ballista a Quetzal out of the air, it gets fall damage. So if you hit him at a real far range, you can do some pretty damn good damage. Of course, the rider can hop off and parachute, and then I'm pretty sure it doesn't get any fall damage, but you got to be like in the specific situation where your parachute's ready to go. You know you've been ballistaed, and then you hop off and parachute out of the way. So it can be kind of a difficult situation. Honestly, this being one of my favorite updates that they've released in the game. In full honesty, I'm looking forward to more expansion on the whole tree building situation. Possibly adding trees to other biomes that can't be knocked down as well. Just to add to the whole tree building thing, so you can't only build in the redwood forest. I do like the whole Ewok village feel. It does look really awesome just by looking at this. It definitely adds to like the whole... I don't know, it kind of adds to the immersion of the game, because you expect like to build up in trees to be safe from the things on the ground that are so evil. So I just kind of like the way it works. So it's awesome that I also built this here. So this is actually going to be able to be jumped over on by land, and so I'll probably have like some kind of gateway here, walkway coming onto this. We'll do a nice little just like hop over bridge kind of thing right here. And then once we're on that platform, we'll do one to that one, do one to that one. And then maybe eventually we'll just have so many little houses up here and so many different tree platforms that raiding us would be next to impossible. And we'll just have a whole bunch of different houses. Every little tree will have its own function. I'm going to have to figure out how I would want to build the houses on these platforms. Would I want to just do a bunch of whole little small huts? I know I could probably finagle it and actually make a cylindrical structure if I were to place the foundations in a specific way. I might try it out on one of these platforms. I'll probably test it out in single player first, just by spawning in the items. That way I don't screw up and waste all my time crafting in the server world. So thank you guys for swinging by today's episode. I understand it was a little shorter than normal, but this was more of just like an update to the updates. In later episodes, you're going to be seeing me build on these tree platforms, and it should be pretty damn awesome. I think we're going to probably rename our tribe to the Ewoks, just because that's freaking awesome. And I will see you guys in the next one. Hopefully you enjoyed. And Adios.